Okay, just real quick, it's 7:30 in the morning. It's minus 3 degrees Celsius out here. But just for you, I want to show you this little town I drive through every morning. We have one too. I'm getting back in the car. I'm just going to warn you, this video will probably be haphazard. I'm actually listening to your video. We're listening to it while I drive around. It's on my tablet there. It's playing. And I'm going to answer it as I go along. There's a couple things I need to be in certain spots to answer it to show you. But the one thing I'm going to talk about, you mentioned how I did the thumbnail. I have on my computer, I have literally thousands of dollars. I have Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere Pro, tons of graphic and video editing software. But I stitched together those videos and made those thumbnails with apps off my phone. There's a couple of apps. One of them was, it actually removes the background, so I cut myself out of it. Then another one, it makes and sizes thumbnails for you. And I just put that picture of me on just a colorful background, I think. I'm trying to remember what that thumbnail looked like now. But in the same way to stitch the video together, I just made a bunch of short ones. I had an app that's tied them all together. So that's how I did that. And the thumbnails, how to add them, I know if you pull up the YouTube channel on a computer, you can go to like my videos and edit them, and you can add them like that. Or actually, I used another phone app that I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, that you can actually edit your thumbnails and just put them up. I'm explaining this poorly. Basically, I'm just using apps on my phone. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. But I am doing something very American here. I hope I got that the right angle. I'm at McDonald's. Actually, I just left McDonald's. American. Hey, speaking of which, send our bald eagle back. That's ours. Everybody's leaving. Now, to answer your concerns, I don't know about Canada, but in America we have what's called expectation of privacy. So if you're in your own home, you expect to be private. But if you're on a public place, like a public street, you cannot expect to have privacy. So you can actually film somebody out and about. I hope I put these in order when I stitch them together. But if you haven't heard the little speech about expectation of privacy yet, my phone keeps hitting my window. I put my phone on a little tripod thing and set it on a trash can on a public street, kind of to make a point. And as I'm speaking about expectation of privacy when you're on a public street and all this stuff, I realized that on the other side of my phone, across the street, are these two guys talking, and my phone is pointing right at them. They can't tell if I'm filming myself or filming them. And here I am basically giving this spiel about you can expect to be filmed. I'm like, yeah, I'm fixing to get beat up. So I had to end that one really quick. I'm fixing to show you 3 seriously American things. 1, I'm buying a toy gun for my grandson. 2, that is clothing, a clothing line from a guy famous for being a sniper in the military. They made a movie about him, called American Sniper. So he has, and he was actually killed, but he has a clothing line. And the third most American thing I've ever seen, bacon grease. I didn't even know they sold that. I am about to do the most Arkansasian The most typical thing for Arkansas. We'll put it like that. I'm going to Walmart. Well, I went through the candy aisle looking for Smarties, but I don't think we have them. And it's the day after Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving, after Halloween, so there's a lot of empty spots, so we don't know yet. No ketchup chips, but we do have sweet Southern Heat barbecue. That's more our style. For this portion of the video, I'm not proud that I broke out a selfie stick. I'm even less proud that I own a selfie stick. But that way, you can at least get a view of where I'm at. This is a little trail area. They have a scout trail to go around the woods, and they have a little walking trail. And basically, I'm just killing time because I have an appointment in a couple hours. So, and I figured I'd show you these incredibly vertical stairs. Let's start with those. And I made notes to comment about some of the things you talked about in your video. And if, depending on how this is all stitched together, this was post the Walmart trip. I was going to show you more of Walmart, but it was really busy. And right now I'm going across an old iron bridge that you can actually see down through. A little nerve-wracking. But let me get my notes. Oh, first of all, I know this, one of the notes. You asked how the ghost adventure went. Well, it was different. It took place in an old tuberculosis sanatorium. And the main building was the one we were, was really interested in. As you can see, there's all kinds of trails both directions off of this main one. They have names. But anyway, the main building's one we were interested in. They used like the first and second floor for offices. But it's like a 6-story building. And we want to see the rest of it, my daughter and I. So we go there, and we kind of figured it was going to be a guided tour. But we met in this big conference room. And I'm sorry, I'm distracted here. There are some grapes, some raspberries, and a iHome speaker. Oh. Out here in the woods. I feel like something sinister may have happened. But I don't use an iPhone, so I don't need that. And I'm assuming they're using the grapes to feed the wildlife. Or somebody's in the woods peeing, either way. But anyway, so we go there and we meet in this conference room. And they give us these little flashlights. A lot of people had just a regular flashlight, LED. And a couple people had the UV, black lights. Well, I had a black light. And across the table from me was this young girl and boy, early 20s. And they had a UV light. And they were shining it down at their feet and their shoes, and lighting up their shoelace and stuff. Thought it was real neat. Well, he turned it off and he set it on the table. When he did, I turned mine on and shone it under the table. And they were sitting there, and then they looked down and realized the light was still shining. They couldn't figure it out. He kept picking up his light, make sure it was turned off. They were like, oh, the ghosts, And he finally saw me over there laughing. He said, all right, you got me. Now, the tour, again, we expected kind of a guided tour, a little bit, maybe a history, maybe tell some stories, stuff like that. It wasn't like that. They were like, okay, let's start to the top. We go to the top floor. And they said, and lights are off, it's dark, we got flashlights. They said, look around. So we're going, and it's an old sanatorium. Really, I could easily see it being an old college dorm. We go in, we're looking, and it's creepy at night, and it's tore down, it's falling down, and there's dead animals, birds, stuff like that, gotten in it over the years. And it's dark. And my daughter's like, oh, I ain't about this. And I'd go into her room, just walk into her room looking. She's like, how are you just going out? Look, there's nobody else around us. She's like, what is wrong with you? You would never survive a horror story or horror movie. Like, I know. But it was really neat. Didn't GoPro it because it was kind of a rush to get there and everything. No hunting with 300 feet. Okay, well, I ain't out here hunting. So this is a perfect example of Arkansas. You've got woods, nature, trails, very much the natural state is what is referred to as the natural state. And it's very much this. Right behind me, farmland, pasture land, hay, cows. That sums up Arkansas about as much as, well, Walmart. Soggy bottom. So the Ghost Adventure was neat because we did look around that old sanatorium all the way down to the basement where they did, and every floor had a x-ray room. They had the old x-ray lights on the wall, and all I could think of is somewhere in this building is a room that I guarantee would still glow, so radiated. But it was very neat. Didn't see any ghosts, but it was interesting. That was the first year, and they kept saying, you know, we're trying to build it up, we're trying to get a recording, a walking tour type thing. So I may go back next year to see how much they really improved it. And they were wanting to learn the history of the place. So it was neat, just not overwhelming. Glad we went, because they turned a part of that sanatorium, because it's a big compound, and they turned part of it into a human development, people with special needs type place. And the money raised from that ghost tour was actually going to, getting off the beaten path here, they were actually going to give it or use it to buy presents for the residents there. It's government funded, so they said a lot of the things they get are strictly government things, like toothpaste. You know, they said it's just chalky government toothpaste. So they were wanting to get these people stuff, Christmas presents. Which, so again, I don't feel bad about going. Now the sign back here said no hunting, which reminded me of something else you mentioned. Camping. Now when I said we don't go camping until it gets cold, now if you go to the lakes, the rivers, where they have campgrounds, during the summer that's full all the time. My father-in-law is big on that. He takes his camper there, stay for a week, does fishing, whatever, just hanging out in nature. But those are usually people, retired people with campers or things like that. Actual camping is done in the winter because it's usually hunters. It'll be a camper, it'll be tents. You know, usually that's a winter thing. And you were saying it gets so cold up there, you don't think about it. Oh yeah, we've had to take cigarette lighters before and warm up the zipper to unzip to get out of a tent before. Natural state. We take outdoor stuff serious. As I'm walking around in the woods, I made notes. Oh, moose. Yeah, obviously we don't have moose here, but we have elk. Just honestly about, probably an hour and a half, hour north of me is the elk population. Now, apparently Arkansas used to have elk before, but they migrated out, hunted out, died out, something. We didn't have them. So Colorado, I believe, several years ago, they made an exchange. They had troublemaker elk. Got a rock in my shoe. And the troublemaker elk, what it worked is these elk that got so used to people, they'd come up on farms and things like that and mess with people's livestock, eat their hay. And I gotta get this rock out of my shoe. So they kind of trapped them, wanted to get rid of them. So they traded Arkansas for, I believe, white bass, some kind of fish, some kind of fish that's native to Arkansas. They wanted to populate. I have a shoe issues. So they traded fish for elk. And all I could ever wonder was, I wonder if we gave them trouble making fish. Ooh. Yes. I won the shoe battle. So we have elk. Now, they're not as big as moose. Oh, it's a beautiful. Wish I could zoom in on them. We have a lot of mallard ducks here. I know y'all have the Canada geese, and they come through here. But one of the rarest ducks you see here are wood ducks. Beautiful species of duck. And I'm walking up on a little creek where 2 wood ducks just floated down. As someone who's hunted duck, I know how hard it is to find them and to see 2 of them like that. Kind of neat. I kind of got distracted like you did with the cat. There. There's a little creek. I'll try to hold it up so you get a little bit better view of my surroundings here. Now, back to the elk before the ducks distracted me. Again, elk are, horse size, bigger than cows, about the size of horses. They're huge. I don't think they're near the tall or probably the weight of a moose. Now, you talked about bear. Just about 20 minutes south of my house is a mountain that has tons of black bear. So we have a lot of those around. Every now and then people from the neighborhood were, I had a bear get in my chicken house, things like that. So we get in our neighborhood every now and then. We used to get what's always been called mountain lions, cougars. They've been called by different names. Mountain lions, what I've always referred to them as. Growing up, used to hear those all the time. I haven't heard those in a long time, so I think they may have moved out of the area. Now, if you've seen the Walmart part, like I said, I wanted to video more in Walmart, but it's Friday afternoon and the place was packed. We didn't have Smarties, but I know the term. I know there were candies called Smarties. And I don't know if I know it from TV or the fact that we used to have them or we still do. I don't know. But I'm on a mission to find them. Reddit, where we ended up, they have a thing, gift exchange. And I did that for a couple of years on several different things. And one of them I did was, they randomly pick somebody. If you've never done that, a gift exchange on Reddit, they do tons of them. Christmas is their big one. But they do, I think, at least one a month. And they have different themes, Star Wars, things like that. And you can do it domestic or international. It is awesome. I used to send things all over the world and get things from all over the world. And some of the things I got was food. Some cookies from Australia that were really neat. All kinds of candy from Asia, different parts of Asia. Since you like pen paling, you really need to look into those Reddit gifts. Like I said, I know Christmas is going right now. They may have already kind of filled that one up in exchange. You sign up, there's on a certain date, they will assign you a partner, and the person you send it to is not the same one that sends one to you. So you may be sending one to Cuba, but maybe getting one back from Korea. It's a really neat little thing. If you've never done that, it's really cool. Now, the ketchup chips. I think it was Lay's every year. They would do like 3 or 4 different weird flavors of chips. And you could vote on which one that they would kind of make permanent for a while. And they did that for several years. I ain't seen it in a while, but they had weird things. And let me know if they did it in Canada too. But they would do like biscuits and gravy. Sriracha was one of them. They had chicken and waffles once. Just all kinds of weird things like that on potato chips. And that was really neat. But we didn't have ketchup on. And I agree with you, it makes sense. We put ketchup on fries. At least we do, you weird mayonnaise eaters. I don't know what y'all do. I'm still working up to trying that. I will try it. Oh, the Smarties thing made me think. See, I don't know. Do y'all have things that are Canadian, right? And the same way when I learned that gift exchange, they have, other countries have things that specifically them. I got some cookies from England one time that was really good. And they're specific to those countries. Whereas American, we don't know if that's the case. Because this is going to sound arrogant, and I really don't mean it that way. But I'd be willing to bet 99% of the planet, non-Americans, know more about my country than I know about theirs. You know what I mean? For example, I bet you could just get dropped off in the middle of any country on this planet, and you've got a real good chance of finding someone who can tell you who's the president of the United States. I can name the world leader of maybe 3 countries, and that's including this one. So, again, people know more about, for example, the Smarties. I don't know if there's any candy that we have that isn't worldwide. There's a German band called Rammstein. They've been around forever. They're an old punk band. But they have a song called America. And the refrain of the song is, "We're all living in America." And the whole point of it is he talks about in the song, no matter where you go, you're kind of in America because Mickey Mouse, Coca-Cola, things like that. You really can't get away from America's influence. That's kind of the theme of the song. Whereas, take Pakistan. I bet you there ain't nothing Pakistani influenced around where I'm at. I can't even tell you one of their foods. So that's what kind of throwing me off about the whole Smartie thing. And I'm going real off trail because I saw something cool. So I'm gonna have to find things like that. I like to find somebody and say, listen, go through your cabinet, show me your supermarket, anything. And it's funny was I tried to find the Canadian section of the supermarket, the maple syrup, but all the maple syrup was made in America. You can't really see it, but there's a little waterfall over there. Ah, nature. And I'm on the clock, so I'm getting paid to just walk around here. And there's a beaver's dam. Ain't the beaver like y'all's national symbol? What's funny is I actually have a shirt with that. The Canada. Oh man, I meant to bring something from my car to show you. I'll have to edit that in when I get back to my car. Let's see. I think I've covered everything on the note. I think so. I did like your video because you were literally talking about bicycling around the island. I'm not a strong by who. Hey, cat! Cracking me up. So, with that, let me ask you. So, what are we at now? About 3 weeks or so? How's this working out? I gotta admit, I like it better than the writing a letter. I know I'd have to find time, quiet, and kind of a chore to explain things, and you know, kind of that get to know you, where we stand type thing. Seems like it would take a little longer. Whereas this, I can go, hey, I live here. You know what I mean? I think it's, my opinion, I think this is going pretty cool. I'm actually having fun, and I will tell you, every time I see a new video, I'm like, ooh, gotta watch it. So, who thought this up? Oh yeah, it was me. Let's see. I covered everything you want that you covered. Oh no, not everything. The job. That is, got offered the job, quite a bit more money. Yeah. Working with a real good friend of mine, and they called and offered it to me. Said, well, I'm very interested, but because of how it was, one company is managing another, and they said, okay, great. You have to fill out the paperwork for this company because the job title's actually changed, you know, paperwork crap. They said, and we'll do your background check, drug screen, all this, and we'll get back to you in a couple of days. Said usually it takes about 3 days. That was last Friday, and this is this Friday. So, still waiting back for them. They offered me the job, now it's just dragging the feet on the paperwork. And I need to actually just take a day, go and spend a day with my friend who works there to get the lay of the land. Because it's not, I mean, it's very rare that you get to honestly go and job shadow, you know, the job, you know, the place you're going to work. So I had that opportunity there. I got some really bad hair. I'd like to apologize about that. I'm like, I can see myself on the phone and I'm like really paranoid about it. But, dang, distracted me. So, the job thing's still up in the air. I did like what, you know, I completely agree about, you don't always have to go up with the money. And I've done that. I've quit jobs just because I didn't like them. To take a job paid less because it made me happy. That's honestly pretty much been my whole life. I've never just taken a job because it was more money. That's just not my thing, you know. So, still up in the air about this. And if you ever geocached, if you haven't, you need to look that up. We used to do that back when my kids were little. We haven't in a long time. But every time I see a place like this, I think this would be a perfect place for a geocache. And somebody put a lock. I hate to hold my phone over the river, but if you can see it, there's a little lock up there. M&E. Ooh! I showed you there's a town called London. I actually lived just outside of a town and was born in a town named Paris. They got a little replica Eiffel Tower I'll have to show you at some point. Okay, I'm back to my car. And it's a little chilly, so I'm gonna, hold on. Let me show you what I have in my car for you. Put down my little selfie stick. This is a perfect indication. Just walk through the woods, come out directly to a McDonald's. Yep, welcome to America. See, we ain't even got a cool Tim Hortons. Okay. You'll appreciate this. I just realized this has been in my car forever. And where did I put it? It is it used to hang from my rear view mirror. I got it from at Niagara Falls, but it hung there so long. Look how faded the colors are on the one side that faced the window. See, I keep a little bit of Canada in my car. Like I said, that thing's been in here, I think, pretty much since I've had the car. Okay, had to show you that. Oh, there is more I'm going to show you. So this ain't the end of the video, as you can probably tell because of the little slider. So I have to do a few things, and I have to get there. I'll show you. To answer one of your questions, you mentioned about buying alcohol. Now, every place is different. I mean, some states you can buy hard liquor, you know, kindergartens, I guess. But here, we have most convenience stores will sell. Okay, we have what's called dry counties where they can't sell alcohol. Now, I live in a wet county where they can. Convenience stores will sell beer generally, and that's it. Like Walmart will sell beer and wine. They can't sell hard liquor. It's funny is where I'm at is called the this little town is called the wine capital of Arkansas. If you can see that sign over there, it's Mount Bethel Winery. Just to the side of that is Post Winery. Just up the hill is Ozark Winery, Whitaker Winery, Dionysus Winery, or vineyards, and they all have wineries. They're all vineyard. Right here is a huge grape section, a lot of them. I'll have to show you. I'll have to go through when the grapes are on and show you videos of them. It's pretty neat. But what you were talking about stores about selling, I think you're referring to those. That is a liquor store where they can sell any type of alcohol, wine, beer, hard liquor. So grocery store is generally beer, liquor store, or grocery store is beer and wine. Liquor stores are being distracted. People are coming out of the store. So convenience store is generally just beer. Walmart, grocery store, beer and wine. Liquor stores, anything, any type of liquor. So I kind of fumbled through it, but hopefully that clears up the alcohol thing. And I'll have to go through when they do the and show you some of the vineyards sometime. They're actually pretty neat. Some of them got some pretty good stories. Okay, realized I never really signed off the last video, ended it, but it's the following day. Now I'm out in Tulsa, Oklahoma in a mall, Christmas shopping already. Blame my wife. I'll explain more next video.